Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
So, Aiden,
G'day, how you going?
we're in a slightly bigger dungeon by the looks of it.
It's just only a bit more space for you.
This camera will just spin around automatically and look at the Autonomous Wright. So this machine is wicked. And, the dungeon's the right place for this machine. So...
Yeah, it's the only one in Australia as of yet. I'm still finishing off the testing for it, but it'll be ready soon to be sold to the public. But
72-inch machine. So
yeah, 72-inch deck.
Apart from the dual wheels, this is Kyle's baby almost.
Yes, yeah, almost.
72 inches. It's got an extra box sitting there. That's got all sorts of sensors and flashing bits. They're not flashing.
So those are the three cameras. So you have 4 cameras on the machine total.
Yep.
So you have one on the rear there.
Yep.
So when it goes into autonomous mode, that activates. And then you've got the two, the left and right. And then you've got the centre.
The front-facing one.
And then you've got the 2 antennas on the top.
Antennas there for GPS and radio signal.
NRTK. Yep.
Yep, so it's got to have radio signal because we were looking at remote control.
Yes. Yep, correct.
Which is another little secret we'll show you in a second. But I reckon it'd look wicked with dualies on it, but you don't really want dualies with the autonomous one necessarily.
I would probably recommend more so to go twheels. Just single twheels than duals all the way, because if you are mowing autonomously and you do get puncture, it's just not worthwhile dealing with all that mess anyway.
So let's just explain this a little bit more. I'll put the camera over here. We can see the machine there. Now, the reason you're recommending that, if we take 3 steps back, is because this machine is designed to save you money.
Yes.
It is going to cost you a little bit up front,
Yep.
just a little bit more than a regular ZK, like 3 times as much.
Yep.
But if you're paying an operator to stand on this machine when it's not autonomous, you're spending, I'm going to say, 70k a year.
At least.
Plus super.
Yep.
Plus downtime.
Plus sick leave, plus them not rocking up.
Yep.
Even if you run the risk of them being a long-time employee but they don't show up, or you're trying to get employees, they don't rock up.
So going back to what you're saying, you put twheels on it, you reduce downtime. You take the operator off, you reduce wages.
Yep.
And then after the first year, not only have you paid for the cost of the machine with reduced wages, you've got less maintenance on this machine than you do on other machines. You have got a machine that will operate autonomously, which, let's say you don't operate 24 hours a day, but you just do regular hours that you would normally mow. You're saving your labour, you're saving on maintenance, and you don't have to worry about it taking a sick day.
No.
You might still shut it down if you get too much rain, but weather-wise, you don't have to worry about the operator getting cold or annoyed.
No. And even through our dusty conditions, like when I was at GIE last year, it was extremely dirty and dry system. Show last year, and they had this machine running the entire time. Yeah. It was covered in dust, and it was still working perfectly fine. So through any type of Australia's conditions, it would still operate quite well.
That raises another valuable point with these machines. Air filter is up here. If you go to a sit-down zero turn, and we've got one behind here, so I'm just going to flick a look at this, right? On a sit-down zero turn, the air filter is behind the deck and down low. Whereas on a stand-on machine, the air filter is up out of the dust and the grass. So maintenance on your air filter is reduced as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Still, working in a really dusty environment like you're talking about there at GIE, clean the air filter every day,
that's
couple of times a day.
Even that's why that's another just benefit of a standard, and that's why Ed and Charles, when Ed was sort of first, I think, going through this process of developing, it's like the platform of the most efficient machine is already here. Yep. Why don't we just make it even more efficient by sort of plugging in an autonomous system to it? So that's why, as you said, with the air filter being there, this machine's already simplified in the servicing in terms of sealed bearings and sealed spindles. Like it's just the consumables you have to sort of maintain and change over. So that doesn't change.
People have asked me about the sealed bearings on these and the sealed spindles on these. You're talking commercial machine anyway, right? But a lot of commercial machines will run nipples. Grease nipples. Not normal human nipples, grease nipples, so that you are continuously servicing the bearings to make sure they are full of grease. These are sealed, keeps a lot more dust and water and rubbish out.
And it keeps people touching it. Because if you add nipples to it, there's more likelihood of someone messing it up. And either over-greasing it or not greasing enough, they break it off, they forget about it, and creates more decay in the machine than it does benefit.
I've had another brand of mower that had like 30 nipples on it or something like that, and you grease them every 25 hours.
It's just...
How often do you have to service the spindles or the wheels where you would otherwise have grease nipples on these things?
Oh, really? Until it breaks? That's when you service it. Preventative maintenance is always the best maintenance. So when it's getting serviced and you can hear or you can feel a bearing being loose or a squeal coming through, that's probably a good time. But in terms of regular maintenance, there's not really too much besides... besides probably blades and then maybe a belt every second or third service.
I'm at 300 hours on my ZK. Haven't had a problem with a belt. I've changed a couple of sets of blades.
But
I think that's the...
You'd hope so. Too.
Been through blades at about 140, 150 hours, so a third set of blades. And the wheel bearings, the spindles, they're good. They're nice and tight.
Yeah, good.
So if you're going to autonomous, this is where you're going, okay, how often are you going to have downtime? Oil service. Blade change. There's not a lot of things to go wrong other than that.
Literally, just the regular, clean out your air filter, change the oil when need be, blades when they're blunt, we'll sharpen them, check tyre pressures, and then probably oil, hydrostatic.
Who's going to buy this machine?
At the moment, it's looking more like big groups. You're looking at, well, I can't really say too much at the moment.
Yeah, we won't list the person, but or the company
but
name.
Yeah, you're looking at guys like roadside maintenance, big sports fields, colleges, universities, solar panel farms. So there is a big list of companies lined up.
So larger commercial use. You're not going to have the cowboy chucking the truck.
No.
He's probably not buying a machine like this.
No, probably not so much. But you got to also have a business set up for this.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to look at this machine, you can't. You have to have the customer base already there, or have a plan to get that customer base, because you can't bring this into let's say you do 100-acre like hobby farm for someone, and the rest of your clientele is either small backyards or 2 to 3 acres worth of trees and everything else. It's just not the most productive machine for that type of work.
So this machine can be programmed to do multiple maps, but it's not the right tool for you if you're doing 8 different properties in a day.
It's probably not, but then where this machine comes into its own again is that you've got 3 modes of operation. So say, for example, you came from... the first half of the day, you did a 30-acre hobby farm. Smashed that within half a day, for example. Autonomously. So while you're doing the edges, it just goes off and mows, and you do the hedges.
Single operator does all the work. Or I mean, you could still have a team, but one of your operators is no longer standing on the mower.
And then, say for example, you have time in the afternoon to do a quick 2-acre block for another customer. And then, if you wanted to, you can just
stand on it,
purely
and operate it.
Jump on the back like a regular stander, and mow if you wanted to, just for that one block. And then it's also got another function too with the remote. You can use it as an RC remote too. So there are sort of different reasons why you could use that. So if it is working autonomously, and say for example it gets stuck in a bit of a rut and it can't get itself out autonomously, you can switch it over to the robot mode and get it out of that rut. Otherwise, there could be another option if you just wanted to mow with that RC mower on, then you can as well. So it's probably not going to be used a lot, but there is a function and a benefit of having it there. So
So you can move it around, put it on a trailer, move it to another property and do that. But for a lot of people, it's going to be operating on a large property, sports field or farm or somewhere where it's
typically speaking, it's designed for broad acre.
Yes.
And that's where it's going to become the most efficient. You are spending a lot of money, so you want to make sure you're maximising the most out of it, which is the autonomous function of it. Because like you said, it is a bit more expensive than regular ZK. So if you want to be sort of using it as a mower, you might as well just buy a ZK.
Yes.
So
that's right.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm not going to be shy about is that, you know, if I don't believe it's going to be the right suit for a customer, you're going to be hearing that from me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if I don't believe it's going to be a good fit for yourself, then it might come back and bite in the arse.
Yeah, I am sick of seeing people buy a mower because it's popular and then they realise it's not the right mower for them.
Yeah.
Won't talk about which one, but it seems to be a common occurrence where people buy a mower, it's the popular thing to do, and then 50 hours, 20 hours on that mower, it's up for sale for half of the new price. And it's a sad day for that person. They're no longer a brand supporter of whatever mower that happened to be.
That's it.
So this is going to be a case of making sure that the person buying it is the right person and it's getting used in the right place, because it's very specifically designed to save labour.
That's it. Yeah. No, that's it really. Yeah. And with it, so obviously Greensy is the company behind the autonomous software. So they've developed a whole in-house app too. Yep. So which is just scan through the QR code on the dash, and then on that app you can sort of also control the machine to an extent too through that phone. So you can adjust the speed it goes at. You can adjust the obstacle detection avoidance, like distance. Yep. You can turn the blades off and on again, but really what it's there for is that you can see all the alerts too coming through. So say for example, if you got to remain 10 feet away from the mower at all times when it's autonomous, for example. Yep. So the distance that we are now, if this was in autonomous, it would give me an alert saying, obstacle nearby, left-hand side camera, please remove. Yep. So that could be either a kid walking up to it or a tree or a power pole that wasn't programmed in as an obstacle before. Yep. It'll register that and tell you that, and it will plan a map around that. Yeah.
So I saw earlier the safety features that it has. Safety comes first. It will disable itself rather than put somebody at risk or run into an obstacle.
It'll plan a map around you. It will stop. So if I'm here and it's coming towards me, it will stop and slow down and then go around me.
But if it's doing a sports field, you'll have those safeties on the higher setting. But if of course. If you're doing long grass, for instance, you can turn your safeties down a little bit so it's not looking at the long grass thinking it's...
of course, yes.
But it places a big priority on that safety, and then you adjust that depending on the type of work it's doing.
Yep, yeah, definitely. Really. It can come with a 61-inch deck now as well, but that could just be a benefit for some contractors in terms of just trailer space. Yeah. But obviously the deck you want is a 72, just from bigger deck. It's
designed for doing wide areas, so you cut the widest possible cut. It makes a lot of sense. Yep. It's unlikely that we'll see a 42-inch machine with autonomous or a 32-inch machine with autonomous.
Definitely not. Yep.
Yep. We'll leave the little battery-powered autonomous mowers for somebody else.
That's it. Yeah. But but really everything else it's just purely ZK, really underneath. And everything that makes it great. So.
Yep, you can see that through and through. It's the same machine with the autonomous stuff attached to it. Yeah. And it works well.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. But other than that, really, it's a great machine. In the new financial year, new season, that's when they'll be ready out here to be sold. So.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm guessing you've got a list of people lined up
wanting
these.
I've already done like a fair few demos on the machine. Yeah. And a lot of people are just sort of hanging out, making sure that the machine's ready to go, and I'm happy with it in Australia.
So if you watch this and you want one, you're gonna have to talk to Aiden pretty soon because the list's already long.
Yeah, there's a couple back orders already there for it. So, but no, it's going to be a good game changer. Yep. I don't see it in the long run replacing staff. In terms of, you see that AI is going to replace everything. No. I don't foresee it like that. I more foresee it as making operators, again, more efficient. Like we took that first step with the standards, and now that new generation's coming through with the autonomous software. So if you're still running a crew of 2 to 3, I don't believe at all that you have to kick someone off to bring this machine on board. You can still keep your crew of 2 to 3 and have this machine there, and then you can just either add another $50,000 to $75,000 onto your revenue that year.
That's it. So it basically means more work gets done by that team.
That's it.
You look at ways of saving with efficiency. You don't have an operator on the mower for a large percentage of the time with this machine. And for people who find this as an efficient machine, they will start looking at other efficiencies once they gain this efficiency. So it's still a business model you operate on.
That's all it's all about. If you don't adapt to the new times coming, you'll get left behind. And that's when you start either hurting yourself or you get like just run out off your feet, and then you injure yourself even further, or whatever the situation is. Like there's things out there these days across all the products that I've seen that makes a contractor's life easier.
Yes.
And if you're not doing that out of stubbornness or for whatever reason, you're sort of your own worst enemy.
Yeah. Well, I see contractors, I talk to contractors all the time, right? Because that's what I do. But I see contractors that run every different business model you can imagine. And the main goal I do with the podcast is to try and help people look at their business model and go, is this the efficient business model I want to operate under? Do I want to be more efficient? If you're running as a contractor with a tractor style mower that's 36 inches wide, you start questioning, is that the most efficient machine? Will a zero turn be a little bit more efficient? Will a stand on be more efficient? Will a bigger mower be more efficient, or a smaller mower be more efficient? Do I need to go and talk to an accountant to make sure I'm more efficient?
That's exactly right.
So that is the focus, and this machine is a great example of helping a particular type of business model achieve that.
Yep. No, other than that, it'd be, so when it's next brought out, we'll send you some videos of how it performs. So
we'll have to watch that space closely for some more videos coming this way.
Yep.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Wright Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Wright Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK 61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through to 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Wright Standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.